Hello and welcome to a new episode of Backlinking, the PKM podcast. In today's podcast episode, I'm going to talk about something I've talked about previously, but I want to talk about again because it is probably the most important thing in productivity and note-taking apps and like life in general. It seems like we are talking about AI, and if you haven't watched my previous podcast episodes or any of my videos, I am a big fan of AI. I think the idea of AI is great, and I think that at some point, like AI will become an important part of our daily workflow. And to some extent, for a lot of people, it already is. But I haven't been able to find a really good use case for AI apart from things like checking my grammar. That is probably the most important thing. I have used it for other things as well, like trying to find notes, but it hasn't worked out inside of those note-taking applications where you have a chat interface and you can ask it everything. I think Mebot looks interesting. I'm going to do updated review on that application. The issue with AI and tech and software is that things change so fast. So the review I did 6, 7, 8 months ago, especially when you do reviews on newer applications like I do, like applications in beta or just released applications, they change so fast. It is really hard to keep up, and my review from 6 months ago isn't viable any longer. Like it doesn't make sense any longer because the application has just developed. So I will need to do a new a new video on Mebot, probably coming the same week as this podcast episode. But uh, I think it looks interesting, but I haven't been able to like find get it to work. Like it hallucinates too much for me to put everything into an application like that and just trust it. I think Raycast is interesting with the like AI. I think they call it AI extensions. I'm actually not sure what they call it, but basically they've made a way for you to interact with applications using natural language. So, for example, saying set up a meeting to the Zoom application and it will set up a meeting. And there are a lot of cool ways you can use that. I've tested that out a little bit, but that is like I'm not saying that it is bad. I'm just saying that it is just an easier way to talk to your computer. And of course, there are great things about that as well. But considering all of the hype around AI, I haven't been able to find a really good use case. Like I use it to double check my grammar, but sometimes it starts changing my whole text and I have to go back and I have to like change things again. And um the question, like all of this what all of this leads to is like what is AI going to be? That is like one important question I have, and that is probably what I'm going to spend the most time on, because one issue I have is that like I pay for Raycast AI, which is great. Um, I'm enjoying it. It is probably the application with AI that I've used the most, and I've actually found some good use cases for. I I use it for the grammar checking, spell checking. I like the fact that I can use different models, and I also use it as I would call it a better Google, because Google search is on a downward spiral with all of the SEO content. I guess I can't be too angry about that since I actually write a lot of SEO content, but Google search isn't as good as it was, so I use Raycast a lot for that. So that has been an the reason why it has been so good is that it is integrated into the Mac operating system. Like when you download it, it just takes over for Spotlight. It is so well integrated, and I think that is great. So that is mainly my use case for AI, and I'm paying for Acast, but I also tried out Tana, which is expensive because it uses AI. And like I have a Windows computer, so I might even consider buying something like Claude or Anthropic, and paying a subscription there for Claude, and that is around $20 each month. And I have like another to-do list application, which costs me $25 each month, which has AI, and that's probably why it is so expensive. Like all of these AI costs keep stacking up if every single application is going to be more expensive and costing me a subscription. Um, and all of that just because of AI. I think I will have a problem in the future. Like, I will probably have to end up having fewer subscriptions than I have right now, because everything seems to become more expensive because they're implementing large language models, which is expensive. So I I completely understand why the applications get expensive. It's not that. I also understand why they implement AI, but like as a general idea, having to pay more on all of your applications, and many of them actually just do the same thing. Many of them just implement a large language model you can interact with within the application. So it is a little annoying. And that is why I'm asking the question, like, what is AI going to be? So the browser company, the founders of Arc, they are making an AI browser because they think the AI will be inside of the browser doing things for you. Raycast thinks it will be at the operating system level. Uh, Applications like Tana think it will be inside of your applications. Microsoft Copilot, I don't know what Microsoft Copilot thinks. They probably do not think that much. I'm a little annoyed with Microsoft having a lot of issues with it lately. But Copilot doesn't seem to have like it doesn't feel like when I use it, Copilot for 365. So for the Microsoft suite, it doesn't always feel like they have an idea of what they're doing, but I think they have recently started to lean on like AI agents. So they think AI agents will be the big thing. Um, and we are actually not sure what will be the biggest thing. One thing I believe in is the fact that like these applications like ChatGPT, Claude, there are others as well, Grok, they like the main point is not to pay for those applications to get that chat interface. I don't think that is what AI is going to be. I think like prompt engineering isn't the future, but that is just me personally. And the reason why I think that is because in order for this whole AI boom to become profitable, because it is so expensive, it has to become mainstream. Like everyone needs to be paying. They also probably need to bring down costs, but at least a lot of people need to be paying for AI, just like how mainstream the internet is right now. And in order for that to happen, AI can't, like, the way we interact with AI can't be really hard prompts and setting down and engineering the perfect prompt. Like, that can't be the way we talk to AI if AI is going to be if it is going to be a mainstream thing. And I'm not thinking about people in the tech community, people using different productivity applications like you watching or like me. We can probably sit around for hours and try to engineer the perfect prompt, but I'm thinking of my sister, my probably not my father. He doesn't like tech as much. He doesn't like computers. But my fiance, my friends probably aren't going to sit and sit and write really lengthy prompts to give AI the context it needs. Like many of my friends won't even, they will try out something like Google LM, but it won't be an important part of their life, at least not right now. And I think Google LM is doing some interesting things if you need to learn something. If you're a researcher, a student, and you're trying to learn something, I think Google LM is in the right direction, actually using AI to do something. So I think that is interesting, but I think, like, my guess is that we will get AI at the operating system level working inside of our applications, but we can also have it in the web browser, because the web browser is becoming more and more important. Like, just I know that this doesn't apply to everyone, but for a lot of people, and especially a lot of people outside of the productivity community, they interact with many of the applications they use just on the browser, a web version, a web app. I also do that a lot because I have so many different computers to juggle between. So I prefer applications that have a web application, a web app. So maybe we will have it in the browser. Maybe the browser company is right, but it is really hard to say what AI is going to be. Like, some applications just think that, like, I've seen note-taking applications that have the philosophy around AI that you will just have to build your own integrations using the APIs. And my guess is that with AI and vibe coding, you will probably be able to make something if you are a little tech savvy and a little interested in tech. I think that will be possible. Like, but there are applications that have that philosophy around AI that you will just have to build your own integrations. Um, there are applications that think that you will have it in your application. There are applications that think that you will have it on the operating system. There are applications that are trying to do like mindful journaling, like a companion. Um, and I'm thinking like someone you can ask questions to that gives you advice based on your journal. There is this application by, I think the company is called New Computer. It is a new application, not a lot of features, but it is beautifully designed. That is what caught my eye, which basically is that it is sort of a companion, a journaling companion is probably what I would call it. You have Mebot, as I mentioned, which is trying to be a little bit of everything. And then you have this whole other category of applications, which is things like Replica, which I have looked at and tested out because I wanted to know what it was. And that is a whole nother discussion on like AI friendships. But there are applications that think that AI will have like a useful use case as just companions, and that is the way it works. And probably at some point, these companions, not necessarily Replica, but Mebot, for example, will probably work more as a personal assistant. Then you have every to-do list application adding, like, the dream of to-do list applications is a personal assistant that just does the organizing for you. Every to-do list application seem to go in that direction, especially a lot of the newer, not released ones. I've been lucky enough to look at two of them. One of them I'm actually currently using as my daily task management app, and I have been doing that for a little while now. But I also had a meeting with another one last week, gave them a little bit of feedback, saw how the application would work. Like, there is this whole category of task management applications, just like Daily Planner is a category of task management. We are getting a new category, which is like personal assistant, and they actually connect your email, your calendar, your to-do list. And there are just so many things happening, which again brings me back to my point, like, what is AI going to be? Like, we can't afford having to pay for all of this. Like I can't pay $25 for the to-do list task management app, then pay 20 for Raycast, then probably pay another 15, 20 for my note-taking application. Some of the note-taking apps are becoming a little cheaper, but uh, I'm just trying to prove a point here. And then, like, you have CRM tools that are becoming more expensive just because they've added some AI. Like, I have tested a few of these CRM tools where the AI is just completely useless, but it is there and it is costing money. And I keep coming back to this point because I am really annoyed about it because there are so many better ways of using AI. Like, I am paying $25 for my task management tool because I think it is worth $25. So I'm not against AI. I think AI does a lot of great things. What I am against is just putting some AI inside of the application and raising your prices just because AI is expensive. Like, if that is the option, I would rather just have no AI and just pay separately for Raycast AI or pay separately for a ChatGPT subscription or a Claude subscription. So that has been the thing that has annoyed me the most. In general, like, I think because of that, like because of not being able to pay for so many different applications, and as I said, these are just my personal thoughts. These are just guesses. No one knows how the future will look. We might end up in a place where AI is almost free. But what I've seen, and I'm only talking about productivity applications, what I've seen when it comes to productivity applications is that AI that works either in the browser or in on the OS level and can work within different applications probably seems like the most likely outcome right now just because of the pricing. Like, one subscription get AI everywhere, but just thinking about it, it hasn't been too many years. Like, at some point, I'm thinking 10, 15, maybe 20 years from now, like, everything will look really different. But I think, like, the first step is to get away from these chat interfaces. I'm not a big believer of prompt engineering as a mainstream way of using AI. So that was a lot of rambling about what AI can become. And I think I just needed to get it off my chest because I'm so tired of hearing of AI everywhere, like AI agents. Like, this whole idea of AI agent also has been annoying me, but I will leave that for another episode. I'm just tired of, like, it feels like there is AI news, AI applications coming every single day. Um, it is really hard to keep up. Like, I reviewed an application that shut down before I was able to publish my review. That is how fast things are moving. And I film 5 videos each week. And back when I filmed that video, I was filming 7 videos each week, trying to keep up with everything. But I am having a lot of fun. Like, I think it is really fun discussing all of this. I am just a little annoyed of the increased pricing of every single subscription I have. There is one other use case I forgot to mention that I really like AI for, and that is transcriptions. I use Voice Notes AI, and that isn't just about how accurate the transcription is, but the application is really good as well. And I was smart enough to pay for the lifetime plan, which means there is no subscription there, and the application is just so good. And I use it for a lot of different things, but mostly just to ramble out my thoughts and try to find an idea in there somewhere. So there are good use cases for AI, not amazing use cases. Many of the things I could do previously as well, not using AI, but I am finding more and more good use cases. I am just having this issue with all of these subscriptions increasing their pricing because AI is so expensive. And I would personally, so I said that I think AI will be at the OS or the browser level. I will need to rephrase that. I really want it to be at the OS or the browser level. So, really exciting times. And it will be exciting to see what AI ends up actually becoming. But that covers it for today's podcast episode. As usual, if you have any questions, please do comment down below, reach out. I love discussing these things, even though like when it comes to AI, I don't actually know a lot about AI in general. I just know a lot about AI in productivity applications. Again, that covers it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching or listening, and I hope to see you again quite soon.